We begin with a deeply personal story about a shattered city at the heart of Sudan's brutal civil war, a violent struggle for power between the Sudanese army and the paramilitary rapid support forces that's dragged on for more than 3 years. It's a conflict that's left tens of thousands dead, millions displaced, and Sudan facing the world's biggest humanitarian crisis. Now, the city of El-Fasher sits on the front line. It's the military's last stronghold in the western Darfur region, but has effectively been cut off as RSF fighters battle for control of the area. Now, according to the UN, around 300,000 people are trapped in the city with no access to aid. The RSF is notorious for its atrocities against civilians, and that's terrifying for El-Fasher's residents. Photojournalist and filmmaker Muhamed Zakaria is from there, and he's documented the war's devastating impact right from the start, a war that's taken his home and nearly claimed his life. Muhamed is now taking refuge in Uganda. He shared his harrowing story with DW News Africa.
Today I received this video. The video shows the RSF militia drones shelled a shelter in El-Fasher. The shelter hosts displaced family and community kitchen, where people gather daily for their meals. 6 people killed and more than 15 wounded. My name is Muhamed Zakaria from Sudan, North Darfur, El-Fasher. I'm a photographer and journalist. I choose to tell human stories and document the human rights violation in Darfur and in whole Sudan. I continue documenting now what's happening in Sudan and in El-Fasher by receiving from my network, from my relative, from my friends there. They text me and send me voice notes about what's happening there. The situation now is very, very, very bad. So in the beginning of the war, there was like a fighting between the rapid support forces and the Sudanese army forces. I took this picture before the siege. This was the last convoy inside the city, carrying food and medicine and goods. And the important thing is that this is the last supplies entering the city of El-Fasher. The life under siege was very, 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 very hard. The food disappeared from the market, and even the medicine disappeared from the hospital. And I see in that time people like children crying for hunger and dying also for hunger and for malnutrition. There was heavy shelling and heavy attack happening day by day and every day. So no one knows that he will die today or tomorrow. We moved in the first day of the war, we moved to our rent house because our house was near to RSF headquarters. Losing my house was very, very painful for me. I took that photo for the place where we gathered as a family, watching TV, taking meals. And after the war started and our house was bombed, I evacuated my family to Chad, and then we being in 5 different countries. Also, we feel like we will find some of safety in our aunt house because he's in the middle of the city of El-Fasher. But in our aunt house, we bombed in the first day of our war. The bomb killed 4 of our neighbors and injured 19 persons. So I am also my little brother also was among the injured. And I just black out, and I find myself in track. That's why I took this photo. And I don't know how I take this photo because I lost a lot of blood in that time. But I think that was important to document it. After this, I reached the hospital, and I feel like I'm lucky because in that time I find some treatment. And I'm lying in the ground because in that time there's a lot of people, a lot of civilian injuries inside the city of El-Fasher because of the shells and because of the stray bullets. And This shows that everyone inside the city of every civilian inside the city of El-Fasher is target. The decision of leaving El-Fasher, this was the hardest decision I took. The journey was very, very, very difficult. I spent 11 days from El-Fasher to reach South Sudan, the Juba city. I go through 17 checkpoints of RSF, hiding my identity on all of the checkpoints, and also carrying my SD cards with me. It was very, very dangerous too, because it contained the truth about what's happening to the people of El-Fasher there. I continue to receive videos from El-Fasher, and the last one I received that for the mosque. The RSF drone attacked the mosque in Ad-Daraja Ula neighborhood in El-Fasher, killing more than 75 people there. The people can't go out the city because out the siege of El-Fasher, the RSF is waiting for the civilians. They arrest them, they kill them, and we see every day videos in the social media shows that the RSF soldiers arrested the young people and the civilians who come out of El-Fasher. I believe I will go back to my city El-Fasher to work and rebuild what the war is destroyed there. But now I will work to document what's happening there, trying to shed light to the situation and to document the human rights violation.
Now, the latest effort to end the war in Sudan has come in the form of a peace plan backed by the US, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and the United Arab Emirates. The group has proposed an initial 3-month humanitarian truce to allow aid to be delivered across all parts of the country. That will be followed by a permanent ceasefire and a 9-month transition towards civilian rule. Now, the army-backed Sudanese government has pushed back against that plan. This is what the country's transitional Prime Minister, Elbashir Idris, had to say at the United Nations General Assembly last week.
Achieving comprehensive peace in Sudan requires the participation of Sudanese political forces and of society in decision-making and determining their future, as they are the true stakeholders. There must be no foreign interference or pressure, no hasty partial solutions, and no support for ethnic political extremism aiming to destroy Sudan.
Let's speak now to Sudan analyst Elbashir Idris. He joins us from Cardiff in the UK. Good to have you with us on the programme. We've been talking about this peace plan brought up by this group, the Quad. How realistic are their proposals?
Well, first and foremost, thank you for having me. The peace plan that the Quad, which is America, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE, have brought forward to try and resolve the war in Sudan, isn't something that I'm sure the Sudanese authorities nor the Sudanese people have been consulted about, which just goes to show the true nature proxy of this war, where foreign influences and state actors from the outside have more influence and control over the direction of this war than the belligerents themselves. So in terms of this peace, it seems that the world is trying to watch, or supposedly watching, the backers and funders of this war. However, the true catastrophe and humanitarian disaster is happening within the country. And as the peace plan tries to flesh out some sort of roadmap, it seems that the appetite for discussions and negotiations isn't that much really high down onto the ground, where we are seeing very fierce battles and assiegement within the city of El-Fasher itself. Though what is interesting is to see how it's been reported that these countries within the Quad, Egypt backing the Sudanese armed forces along with Saudi Arabia, and the UAE notably being the biggest backer of the rapid support forces, and its also ally, the United States, it seems that these Middle Eastern countries cannot continue doing anything for Sudan or for its belligerents without America's approval. And as we've seen with President Trump's way of handling diplomatic and geopolitical affairs, it should not be noted that this will be a deal that is for the benefit of the Sudanese people, but perhaps for those who are more strongly funded and have more money on the outside.
Right. I'm just going to pick on one of those countries, the UAE, which has long been linked with the RSF. We even heard earlier the Sudanese Prime Minister talking about rejecting international interference. Will the Sudanese army accept the involvement of the UAE in any peace process?
Well, any peace process up till now has always ended up in sabotage. We have observed a pattern that whenever a peace process is in the midst, there seems to be in coordination of an attack down on the ground done by the rapid support forces. So the amount of goodwill left really to go forward and sit down with the table in terms of the Sudanese armed forces with the rapid support forces seems very nil, as it seems to be hypocritical to come and forward and sit on a desk whilst ordering your men at the very same times to attack areas with a large civilian density and population. And I do not believe that the Sudanese armed forces will seek to turn the other cheek, so to speak, after it's done so multiple times, in fact. And because of this, there is no appetite for discussions or peace talks. The Prime Minister, in his latest UN General Assembly speech just last week, stressed on the importance of territorial integrity and sovereignty. It seems that these backers on the outside does not respect these wishes that the Prime Minister has stated, nor do they much see the involvement of the Sudanese civil society in their opinions on this matter.
We mentioned the city of El-Fasher earlier. We're hearing more attacks in recent days and the whole city under siege. What are you hearing about the situation there? But also, what's at stake if El-Fasher were to fall into the hands of the RSF?
Well, currently we have over 300,000 people besieged within the city of El-Fasher, which is in North Darfur state, which is just in the west of the country, bordering Chad, which is within RSF-controlled areas. What's at stake here is if the Rapid Support Forces does manage to take the city, we are essentially seeing the second secession or partitioning of Sudan, as the Rapid Support Forces wishes to set up and have their own state. But let's zoom into the people a bit, away from the geopolitics. What we are seeing is a famine, ethnic cleansing and genocide that is reminiscent of what's happened 20 years ago. And in fact, even much worse now. The Rapid Support Forces have built a 75-kilometer earth beam around the whole city, meaning nobody can get in nor get out. People cannot run for their lives. And even then, from the 300,000 that I've mentioned, half of those are children. And they've become stricken with famine and with no food or supplies to eat, turning bony, to the point people have been eating animal feed, but it's not fit for human consumption, and it's leading them to die. And the shellings of a peanut, the very thin shellings, these are the only nutritions that people have. It's been even reported that the Rapid Support Forces are aiming to attack several IDP camps within El-Fasher and around the city. Just earlier this year, Abu Shouk displacement camp was attacked by the Rapid Support Forces, which left a horrible scene of hundreds and thousands, of tens of thousands, fearing for their lives running. But due to the awesome weapons of the Rapid Support Forces that have been gained by the UAE's support, they've been used to mow down these poor innocent civilians who were just trying to escape war and displacement and the famine. in the city of El-Fasher as well. It only has, from that earth beam of 75 kilometers, there's only a small gap of 4 and 3 kilometers that allows only troops of the rapid support forces to move in and out. But currently we are witnessing the slow strangulation of the city that the world is not talking about. And we're talking about a famine and a situation so extreme, so horrible, so deplorable, that just trying to look at the images itself or not, rather not seeing the images is crime against humanity yourself.
Elbashir Idris, thank you for summing that up for us. Sudan analyst joining us on the line from Cardiff. Thank you for your time.